20 minutes in, but we got it going. I'm happy. So ah.
Oh, it's meant to be because at least you were patient. You just didn't give up on me.
Well, nice to meet you.
It was so nice meeting you. I'm so glad that we can do this.
Yes.
I'm very impressed with your work. I love your work.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful, and it has a lot of messages in it.
Oh, yeah.
It really speaks to you, but in a way where the audience can be receptive.
That's what I like. I like to stand in the sidelines whenever I'm doing like an exhibit or something. And I like to let people connect in their own way. And then afterwards, if they want to ask me where I was at when I did it, I can explain. But I always like to see how the stories can connect because all of us have experiences we don't like to talk about.
Yes.
All of us have feelings we don't like to talk about. So I try to make visual what's not seen.
Yes. Yes. Lots of the images had subtle messages in it. And, it really gets you thinking. And I like that. It's not
Yeah.
like thrown at you. It's just little something messages that kind of lets you get into, the whole scene or imagine in your mind or give you certain thoughts.
That's what my objective is. And I like to use a lot of little symbolisms that might not hit immediately, but if you keep going back to look, you'll find something else. And they're little hidden messages.
Yes. So why don't you start off by telling me about your background? Give me some brief history about you being an artist.
Born and raised in New York City. And my father was an artist, musician, and writer. So he always encouraged me to be creative. And all my siblings were musicians.
Ooh.
I, however, ended up using the paintbrush as my instrument and my color for my rhythm. But everything I have to listen to music when I'm painting. And my favorite is like some jazz, but it's not like that elevated jazz, like Lonnie Liston Smith, things like that gonna make you think, expand your mind type of jazz. I like to listen to the real jazz, not schmazz. I call the other stuff schmazz. Not elevator music.
Do you have in the family?
Well, one brother has passed. He played bass guitar and piano. And then I have a sister who's in a wheelchair. She used to do lead, clarinet, piano, and vocals. And then I have a brother who is also disabled now with piano, viola, violin. And my dad played a bunch of different instruments, and he was just a creative man, just all the way around. Everything was about creation
Oh,
and staying creative and using your imagination.
yes.
I actually have two brushes that I saved from when I was a little girl. I used to always like to paint and draw. So he would say, well, when you can start making colors and using your mind to figure out how to do that, I'm going to take you for your first paint set. So I started taking, like the comics from the newspapers on Sunday, and I would put them in water. I would get like yellow, green, and then get it in water, and I'd use those colors. Or achote seeds, those make things like a bright orange or yellow.
Oh,
And
wow.
I would use tea leaves, some grass from outside, leaves, anything. And he was really happy. So he took me to Chinatown, downtown Manhattan, and bought me my first watercolor set. So I got two brushes. One is Blanche and one is Gertrude, and they both have like one hair each. But those are my good memories from my father. I have them in a special place.
You named the brushes?
Oh yeah, I got some names for some of my brushes. Some of them make me angry, so I named them after an ex-husband, but it's okay.
I love it. So go on from there. Tell me more.
So I forgot where I was. That's what happens with this old age. Okay, wait a minute. So that's where I just kept on drawing and painting. And then also when I was little in kindergarten, I was all excited because the teachers told us we would get an art exhibit. They wanted us to do our families. And
Oh,
then we're gonna do it in the hallway. And I was all excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm proud. I'm gonna tell Daddy, he's gonna come. And he said, just let me know the day. I'll take off work. So I didn't realize that nobody else could see auras. I thought that we all saw auras.
oh,
So everybody in my family had like an aura around them. And the teacher made such a spectacle of me in that class. I wanted to just slide under a rock. I thought there was something wrong with me. I crumbled up my picture. I threw it under my bed. And my father asked me like a couple months, well, what happened to the exhibit? And I told him, man, did he go in there and tell her off? Because I had colors around everybody. Johnny had purple. My father had yellow. Everybody had an aura, but I didn't realize this was just something I was seeing. They didn't see.
spiritually, a lot of people can't see that.
Yeah. And then sometimes I get these dreams, and the
Mhm.
dreams will wake me up, and I just automatically have this like feeling to be painting this from this dream, and I don't even know what it means. And
Ooh.
that doesn't happen often, but I did Hurricane Katrina, which I call the hurricane, exactly 30 days before it hit. And I made her a woman. Also, I had a dream. I don't even know why I dreamt this. And I got up out of my bed and I painted something very unlike my work. And it ended up like when I finished, it was simple and it was totally different from anything I've done. I was putting everything away. I had no canvas, so I had a piece of wood from my old shelf, and I said, I'll paint it on there. 7 in the morning, I got a call from my friend Molly. They had murdered her son, pushed him off the roof in the Bronx,
My God.
and everything in my painting represented this scenario. The red was the blood she found him on. The black background was the tar in the street. The yellow was his golden boxer shorts. The tree, the branch went through his chest, and the piano keys going through everything was him. He used to play piano in the church on Sundays.
Oh,
So that was a premonition dream.
this your way that the universe speaks to you through your dream.
Sometimes it speaks and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I see auras, sometimes I don't. I see orange around you right now.
Color. So that's great. I'm a very spiritual person. So I believe the universe talks to us all in different ways, but a lot of people just don't listen and they're too afraid to explore. So
Yeah.
I'm also a visual artist and
Okay.
multi-talented. So I definitely understand what you're saying. And I get
Yeah.
our cues from the universe.
Yes, you have to. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on so much.
Yes. And I
And
think,
don't be scared.
don't you think being an artist helps you be left and right brain to really open up all your senses to see?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And also I think it makes it us we get extra sensitive to things. We can kind of feel things out. We're more in tune with stuff, I think.
Yes.
And if without that, how could we be creative? Because how do you express things if you don't feel them all? If
Yes.
you're so limited, your artwork's going to be very limited too, I think.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I agree with you. I didn't start painting again until I got in my 40s because I painted when I was younger and because I've done so many things and I went back to it. And I stopped because I opened a gallery, then I started my art magazine. Now I got to get back to it. So once I start painting, it's so liberating.
Oh, get back to it. Don't let it stop you. I did the same thing. I had my kids, single mom. I didn't paint. I put it to the side. And then I started taking it really seriously in 2003 after a car accident.
Ooh.
That's when I took it serious.
Oh, did you ever go
I
to
really,
school?
huh?
Did you ever go to art school?
I did have art classes at in high school, and I did get a little a little, I guess, like a scholarship to
Yes.
the Metropolitan Museum of Art for some lessons over the summer. So here I am in this little rich kids
Wow.
area with all these rich kids in there, and
Wow.
here I come strolling in, little slumpy me, and we have this art class, and I'm just sitting in. And all I'm thinking about was, wow, there's some really cute guys in Central Park playing congas, and you know, I can't wait to get in there, and my mother and father won't even know I hung out a little bit, you know. So
Oh, Lord.
yeah, I'm in this class, and they put this really overweight, obese woman in a two-piece bathing suit for us to sketch.
Oh.
Everybody's in there like sketching her, like all like being very uncomfortable. I just did it like a big melting candle because I couldn't even see her bathing suit. It disappeared. She was just melting on that chair. And this little weird man came walking through, and I thought he was just some pervert from the park as usual. And he gives me like a thumbs up and a smile. My teacher said, "Do you know who that man was?" And I said, "No." She said, "That was Salvador Dali." And I said, "I don't know who this guy is."
Favorites.
But
What?
he was walking through the museum. She said, "Don't you leave this class." And before I didn't get to the park, by the way, she took me to the Museum of Modern Art, which was walkable, and by the subway where I would have had to catch the train back home. And she took me in there to see an exhibit they had of him in the museum. And that was my confirmation for my love of surrealism.
Oh God, he's just number one surrealism, if you ask me.
Oh my God. Him, there's a lot of good ones, but he really, I think there was a painting he did in there that just like I couldn't, I just loved it. It was a pork chop hanging on somebody's shoulder or something. I just loved
So
it.
inhibited. That's what I like about him.
Yeah.
I like it. I like all different types of art, but with him, he's just uninhibited and he just lets it out.
Yes,
You know, it
absolutely.
doesn't, it's
Yes.
not hesitant. So I read in your bio that you started and formed a group called Urban Individuals. Tell me more about that.
Okay, back in 2008, me and a friend of mine, Gloria, she's also an artist and a musician, we were hanging out, having our little vodka and cranberry, enjoying our company, and always talking about what's going on in the world and trying to make positive change and all the injustices. And I said, you know, we should do a show about this. So let's get to a group of artists. We know so many artists. Girl, after that, it was over. Every Friday, all the artists, musicians, writers, poets, dancers would hang out in my apartment, and we formed this group. It's called the Urban Individuals. It was international. We even started inviting people from other countries. And
Ooh.
what was really crazy was how we didn't even speak each other's language. We still got to know each other through our artwork. We would ship back and forth. We started doing work over there. They'd send it over here. And it was just amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just wanted to be a voice for so many things. Like I'm more, I guess I'm more of a storyteller in my work. I'm not the type of artist to match the color of your couch. I'm more about telling you about stuff or creating awareness or trying to make positive change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each one of your pieces, it definitely tells a story.
Yeah.
I get the sense of the characters in the story. They all have their little personalities, but yet they all fit in a larger community.
Yes, absolutely. And then that's a new thing I've been doing was like working on my like New York City series since moving to Virginia. I forgot like how different it was growing up, and you know, like I'm around here now with the open, I see trees and all this, and we were in that concrete jungle there, but we I think we had more benefits actually because it kind of molded me into another person. I'm able to be anywhere. You can throw me anywhere, I'll be all right. As
Yes.
long as the people around me are all right, I'm all right. If you're not, then I'm leaving. That's it.
See how you left New York. I grew up in Chicago, raised in Chicago. I used to go to New York all the time, but my girlfriend that was there moved to California. I was fascinated and in love with New York. It is
Yeah,
so diverse. You can meet people from all around the world. It has
absolutely.
everything. It's so much energy. It's so alive. That's what I
Yes.
love about it.
Yes. And I think that made me adaptable to so many places. And you
Believe
know, like I can see the other side of things, but other people are just black and white, black and white, black and white. Everything's not black and white.
no, but they grew up in such a homogeneous environment where there's
Yes.
enough diversity.
Yes. And that's another thing I refuse to answer. I will never answer, what are you? I'm human. The
Yeah,
reason I feel that way is
I
because
love
the
it.
moment we answer, we are opening the door for discrimination. Because the moment you answer, you're going to get discrimination coming from somewhere because you're not looking what like you're expected to look. or you're not fulfilling the stereotype social media has given people the vision of. And now all of a sudden you're being displaced by everybody. That's all a part of you anyway.
Exactly.
So I won't answer. Even when I go to the doctor's office, I leave it blank. And they ask me, what are you? I said, I'm human. What else do you need to know? And I'm a woman. You want to check?
And
That's it.
ageism, since I'm 63, would be 64, I had to argue with people who don't believe I'm 63 because they have this mindset of what a 63-year-old person's supposed
Right.
to be. I don't fit anywhere in a category.
And you look fabulous. You look fabulous. I'm 65. I'm 2 years older than you.
Oh no, I'll be 64 in November. So you're like some year and some.
Oh,
Yes, darling.
okay. And I'm in January. Okay. I'm on Martin Luther King's birthday, and my daughter's born on Malcolm X's birthday. And to put the two of us together in a room, uh-oh.
Wow. Just getting started. I feel like I have so much
Yeah.
knowledge. I feel like I'm getting out of my teen years and I'm just getting started. I have so much to live. I mean, like you said, it's like I hate to tell people, certain things about me because then you have a mindset. You're not open to the possibilities.
That's exactly it. Yes.
To be real spiritual, you should not judge. You should take it in and absorb it.
Yes. Just acknowledge people, but let them be and close out all this
mess, the noise,
these blinders, the noise that's being pushed on us. How we're expected to look, how you expect somebody to sound or what they do. Come on.
That's such an artist. That's what I love about artists. You go to any art exhibit or any art party, there's such a diverse array of from everywhere, every walk of life, every type of background is so open.
You would have loved it in the Bronx when we first formed this thing. People would come to my house on Friday. I was peeling folks off my couch on Monday morning.
You do exhibitions or something?
Yeah, we did a lot. And I started creating a lot of platforms because you know how difficult it is for us to find venues. Yeah. And they want to charge us all this money. Then on top of it, they take a commission. Then they want a submission fee. Yeah. I mean, and half the time you're not going to sell anything. Then people want you to sell your work for little to nothing. They're not even considering how much were the supplies. Can we get an hourly wage, please? Yes. They don't even think of this, and it's hard. So I wanted to find venues that would allow us the opportunity to do shows, even if they were in places that were unexpected.
Like they do a lot now.
Right. And the first show we did together was at the Williamsburg Music Center, which is the first and only Black-owned business in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Oh. And Jerry Eastman, he bought that building back in the 80s when it was really dangerous in Williamsburg. Everybody told me it was crazy. But that man went in there, he built that place, and he started teaching music theory, jazz, voice techniques. And those kids today are very, very good jazz musicians who are traveling around the world. And he's still open to this day.
Oh, wow.
And he gave us the first opportunity for an art event. And now he does them there. He puts them on the wall. And it was fabulous because we had the jazz and the art.
So it seems like, what do you think? I want to ask you, a lot of galleries to me in the last 10, 15 years are closing because so many things are sold at art expos. So so especially since COVID happened, you have more artists selling online, which I think is good. So where do you think art is going with all of this? Where do you think the next phase of it is?
I think that it's going to continue. The scary part to me is this artificial intelligence art.
I just did a guy he's an artist, he's from New York, and he does AI art. And he explained it to me, but go ahead.
My fear is I appreciate I love learning new stuff and having new experiences. And I love to play with different mediums. It's fun. But if this goes in the wrong direction, can you imagine how easily a piece of your work can be stolen?
Oh, yeah.
And reconfigured?
Yeah.
That's the part that gives me fear.
Yes.
Other than that, I think it's wonderful that we can expand on things. It started with digital arts and all this. Now we have artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Now we're not even thinking for ourselves.
Yeah.
They have groomed us, and it started like I did a painting. I can't even show you now because I have 60 paintings going in this next show, and it's already wrapped up to go get
Oh,
installed.
wow, 60. That's a lot. That's
I
awesome.
have done over 500 paintings. I can take you on a little stroll in my studio bedroom. I'll take you right now here.
Yes.
So here's that's my lady. Who's that lady? I did that to the Isley brothers. I had to just do it. All of these are 60 paintings in this here that are going to be,
Oh,
I don't know if you can see them all. They're all wrapped up.
okay.
Then I don't know if I'm going too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go in the other room. My son and us, they're isolated. They got COVID. So this
Ooh,
is all new work.
I don't see anything now.
Oh, what
This,
am I doing?
that's,
Oh, I know what I did. This is all new work.
oh, wow.
This is my little workstation. I'm starting another one.
Okay.
This is my hurricane painting.
Oh, that's beautiful though. Oh,
And look, it's exactly what happened.
yes.
That
Wow.
was a dream. Yeah.
You're
So
prolific.
I took you in the other rooms. I mean, there's art everywhere. It's like it's insane. My daughter said, "Oh, don't send any more up here. I have no room." So ceiling to floor is art.
So, the show you're getting ready to be in, are you gonna hang your own art or you just deliver it and they'll hang it for you? How does that
No,
go?
I install it myself because there's a method to my madness. So I'm curating the show.
Oh,
Yeah, I curate a lot of shows. I still do that. I still keep on top of that. This, that, and the other. It's gonna be a show. I think I sent you my press release.
yes, you did. I bet it.
This is gonna be more of an in-your-face type of show. So I'm gonna cover topics that people sweep under the rug that they're not comfortable speaking about. It's gonna include police brutality, racism, profiling, wrongful jailing, uh people thinking that they're more privileged than others, the way we the way we use words, how to rethink what we say because we've been programmed. Even think about the cartoons we grew up listening to.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I flip the channel, I'm like, oh my god, this is what we heard when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's so racist.
The cartoons, just the commercials. When
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
South Africa and when I went to even the let's say Jamaica, to see all Black commercials was just like, wow. Could you imagine only seeing TV? It's just the fact that this country, all you see is non-people of color all the time on TV and a Cajun spot here and there, and it's still going on, and we're in 2023.
And how stereotyped
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
And then think about when we were kids with this cowboy and Indians thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was horrible.
Yeah.
I was switching the channel and it was like, you ever just wake up, you can't sleep. So I said, let me see if something funny's on. Green Acres.
Oh,
So they got they, they got this guy painted red in the backyard. Oh, that stereotype. And the mother's petrified because there's Indians in the yard. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is what we watched when we were kids. I said, oh my
yeah.
God.
The United States has not evolved.
No.
It's one of the newest nations in the world, youngest rather. But when I go out of the country, so many other countries are more diverse, more receptive. They are nationalists. They don't like other people coming to their country, but they're very diverse within the countries, a lot.
Yeah.
And they just have a different attitude.
Yes.
But
it's really horrible.
Yes, it's the good thing I think about Trump getting in office. The only thing I like, all the things we complain about, all that stuff came out of the skeletons off.
Oh,
out of the closet in the United States, and you can't put that stuff back in the closet.
It's a mess. Oh my God, everything is like roaches coming out the wall. I did a painting called The Insurrection, and I did everybody like cucarachas climbing all over, and the biggest one was Trump. I had him in his little MAGA hat, red, white, and blue, big Trump cucaracha in the front, by the way. I get censored a lot, by the way. My mother thinks I'm going to be murdered.
Oh my God. Well, shoot,
But
I think we have no choice. The universe is making people have to move forward to change. And until it does that, I think the universe is going to keep sending us difficulty until we move forward.
And we have to talk about it.
Yeah, that's I think what helps South Africa. Desmond Tutu had those special hearings for months to let people get that stuff out of them. We're here, they're too afraid. They're too afraid.
And it's not even that. It's like ignoring reality. But you can't just not talk about it and act like it doesn't exist.
Think about it. That's how a lot of people deal with problems. They don't. Right. I don't care what. Yeah, the adults. Oh, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to deal with that. But the universe is forcing them to. We can't have to unless we address this.
That's right. And you're going to have differences of opinions. You're going to have but this is how we share each other's views. Wow. Maybe I can enlighten you with something I've experienced, and maybe you can enlighten me with something you've experienced. Until we can do that, how are we going to find a medium where we can be okay?
I think, the powers that be like to keep people divided, because I think if the everyday people on both sides talk, they'll see just how much we agree and have the same type of problems. But they don't want us to see that. They want things divided. But I don't think the universe is going to let it. I think we're in a time that we have to change. And the more resistance it is, the harder it's going to get.
It's very difficult. I just did these reconfigured dashikis when I was kind of in a funk for a couple of years when COVID hit. I lost 23 people within 18 months, like one after another, bam, bam, bam. Because in New York, they were not sending any equipment to save lives.
Oh my God.
The blue state, remember? So after that, I kind of went into this deep, dark place I didn't want to create. I was eating like a pig. I gained like 60-something pounds. I was just sitting there, just blah. Then I said, I got to get out of this funk. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I said, what can I do? I don't feel like painting. What can I do that's different? So I had all these old dashikis from like the 70s and 80s. You can't wear. They got moth holes in them. I cut them all up and I reconstructed them. And on them, I put like different periodic historical movements that have happened, civil rights, justice. And I researched a lot of stuff, and I couldn't believe that a lot of people that don't realize now that they've been given privilege, they didn't have before.
Yes.
They didn't have that privilege. They don't even know their own history in this country.
Because they don't read.
No, and it's not spoken about. You're not taught this stuff in school. I found out that the Greeks, when they came to this country, they were the only European race that came to this country, united with the African Americans, worked together in diners, did not segregate, and marched with some of the civil rights leaders, also formed a group called AHEPA to help the NAACP fight the KKK.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know what they did? They said, let's give them privilege. So in the 1930s, I think they became white. But they were originally being hunted for looking at white women and hung or skinned because they were Greek.
When they first come, they didn't like Italians.
No.
Like Irish.
No.
Every group that came, if they weren't the Puritan white, which everybody's mixed now, but they fought them.
Yes. And you know what? Let's all do our DNA. I bet you everybody's mixed.
Yeah, they couldn't stand the Chinese. They came over here and built all the railroads, and they don't put any of this stuff in the history books. None of it.
And this needs to be taught because, how do you encourage a child unless they know historically what great accomplishments their people have done?
We'll be all one. What's wrong with
And
you're all one color?
we're all human. What is do you put a bunch of dogs in the yard and they are in heat? Do you think they worry about who's a German Shepherd and who's a poodle?
Yeah, messing with the poodle.
They don't care. They don't even care what they look like. You can be fat, skinny, you have 3 legs, it don't matter. Dog got 4 ears, they don't care.
Oh my God.
A dog is a dog. I don't know.
So where do you think you're going from there? What are your next moves? What do you what's the next things you want to do?
Well, I'm so excited about this particular show. I'm gonna donate these dashikis to the Department of Human Rights. Right now, they don't have a secured location that's permanent, but they will attend the event, and I'm going to present it to them because it's all about human rights.
Yes.
And I'm going to have them projected from the ceiling. They're going to be suspended out of the ceiling
Gotta
so
see
that you can see on all sides.
Upload pictures from the exhibition.
Oh, I will. I can show you. You can't see them well, but I could give you a peek of one of my little dashikis here. I got them hanging here. I kept them very raw.
Ooh.
Because I wanted to write historical things
On them.
like about rights movements that people have made, like the suffrage movement, even the Latinos, the Red Berets, the gangs. Some of these gangs were formed to make positive change.
Yeah. Black Panthers were originally.
Exactly.
Activist.
Yes. And I think that's what I've been too. My father used to always call me the little revolutionary.
Are you the child, the middle child, or what?
No, I'm the middle. I have.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm right dead in the middle. So what I'm going to do is this particular show I'm very excited about because it's something I've wanted to do and I've been censored and I wasn't given an opportunity to do it to this extreme because they want to keep everything so nice and clean and conservative. And I want to talk. I want to make people talk. I want to trigger an interest in somebody. So when they walk away, it might not be something they say, oh, isn't that pretty? I'm going to hang it over my couch. No, that's not my intent. No. I want you to leave and think and continue to think. And if you have to come back and look at it again, you're going to find something else in it. And I want you to think about it because maybe that's going to help how you think in the future, what you say, how you perceive things. And maybe it'll open their eyes to realizing what's going on. Everybody seems to be in this la-la land with social media, which I believe was the initial grooming to keep us in la-la land so we couldn't see what was happening around us. Personally, I don't want anything to do with Facebook, Twitter, Twitter, none of that stuff. They can keep it.
It's a shame because to me, it can be a great educational tool if we stop letting people tell us what to do. If you like the internet, there's no reason to be dumb now. You can read things from all around the world.
Yes.
And if people could use it as an educational tool, but no, they don't do that. They're like, let you be drones.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to robotize us. And they know that the majority are so easily led.
Yeah, that's
the sad part.
Shocking to me. I guess I was naive because I really was delusional to think that we were going to be so evolved. God, what dream
I did too, because originally I got on one side, oh my God, this is great. Yeah. It's like so much easier. And then I said, no.
For my business though, because my art magazine is global and I really purposely because you see to me in the art world and other art magazines, you see the same script, the same thing, and they only push certain people. I think that's wrong. I don't do too. Right? And I want people to see what everybody's doing, all different type of genres, all different types of art. I also started the cultural part because I'm going to talk about different cultures that people don't know. I want to expose people.
That's because you're an artist.
Yeah.
And only a real artist could do that because most people don't think on that level. Oh, I would love to do a show with you. Maybe you could send a piece in and we could do something together. I would love to get you working because
That.
I
Yeah.
would love to see some of your work.
We're gonna do more stuff together, I know. I
Send
feel
me a link to some of your work because I do curate a lot of shows. And actually, this is going to be a little heads up. I'm going to curate something in March in downtown Richmond for the Richmond First Friday Art Walk. And
mm,
it's going to be our games. And I don't mean just games like Monopoly and cards. I'm talking about every game in every sense of the word, political games, games we play with each other, all kinds of games. So maybe you could put a piece in for that.
I need to start painting. I don't even have
It's a painting.
my artist website down. I don't even have a website anymore. I don't have any.
Oh,
Well, what happened was I had a studio in a well-known art center here, and I liked it, but because I've done so many other things in business and all kind of other things,
yeah.
I wanted to show other people's work and help other people. And then it went from just having a gallery to I started the magazine and it just took off.
Oh,
And
well, you need to do a magazine on your stuff too. Just do a whole thing to let people know who you are.
well, when I first started my magazine, I did do an issue on me. I do have
Good.
an issue I did on me. And I stopped doing COVID because things were just kind of a little crazy. So I just got it started back this year. And I think all the issues I did before evolved me to what I'm doing now. And I said, okay, when I do issues, I used to have several people in the issues, but I'm going to do solo issues because I want the persons to focus on that one particular artist that I'm, trying to feature.
Right.
And I'm really into really promoting it and getting more and more global, more and more global. Because
I
I
think it's a beautiful thing what you're doing.
thank you.
I really do.
Really feel I would like our societies to get back to supporting artists like they did in the 1800s and the 1700s,
Yes. I
where
wouldn't want to be in that time. They probably would hang me by my toenails.
I
But
think that there should be salaries given to artists, that there should be there needs to be other things besides just becoming an art professor and then
yeah,
to be at the very top. I don't think that's right.
it's not fair because even if you go to some of these musical festivals, they want the artist there to set up, but they want to charge the artist a booth space. And
Yes.
it's outrageous. And
Yeah.
then you're out there in the hot sun. Ain't nobody looking at your stuff. They're listening to the music and partying. Musicians are getting paid. And we're just the decoration.
And that's but musicians are smart. They stick together. They know how to demand. For some reason, visual artists they just never got that. And I'm
No.
hoping, that now you see more of them learn about galleries. What
Yeah.
that's all about. You don't need a gallery to show your work. You can do pop
Mm-hmm.
ups. You can
Mm-hmm.
show your work online. That's why I like online, and you can do
Mm-hmm.
sales and learn that part of the business. I think we
Mm-hmm.
demand more because yeah, they do not play visual artists right. They
No, they don't. And you could do art shows in libraries, restaurants. I
restaurant.
had a show in my own apartment in the Bronx.
Oh
I
yeah,
had an art show.
yeah, you can do
Jazz club that I used to go to in Harlem called St. Nick's Jazz Club. It's closed now, but that was old school. It's been there. It was like legendary.
wow.
Everybody in there. I had musicians. They were playing saxophones up in my place at 3 in the morning. My neighbors were coming from upstairs saying, "What is going on?" They ended up hanging out. I had musicians, artists, poets, art everywhere. People were just, I was like, this is just unbelievable. And you
See,
know what?
they,
Everybody helped me clean up.
musicians do that. They do studios in their own home and invite people.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
yeah.
I think artists need to take advantage that we have an international platform. That's what I like about social media and the internet.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I guess the expos are coming back and stuff, but I really wondered in different communities, what's going on with artists since COVID. How they find it easy to get back to exhibiting, kind of
No,
happening. It isn't? They've had,
no.
oh,
It's hard. It's really hard. And everybody's becoming like this vanity gallery.
oh,
Everything's like a get over. Like, how can I get over? Everything's like, even when we go shopping, you see it.
oh,
Everything. So
wow.
the art world is like that too. Like these galleries, they're just like exploiting artists so bad.
I
That's why I'm very choosy about where I'm going, and I refuse to do a vanity gallery. I'm not working with that.
because I think galleries take so much percentage from artists. It's different when you're a well international, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, of course, they have to pay rent, though, so it's difficult for the gallery owner, it's difficult for the artist,
Yeah,
but can we be reasonable?
but 50 and 60 and 70%, I think, is a little.
That's crazy.
I think
And then you want to charge a rental fee and a submission fee.
that's a lot.
So,
That's
and then you're going to get mad because you priced your work accordingly. So you want me to be negative per hour. So you want me to put a salary of minus $2 an hour for my work.
yeah,
That ain't happening.
yeah. And if it's a major gallery, most of them don't accept artists. They're very particular.
Oh, who do you know? Who you connected to?
Yeah,
I know,
it's
yeah.
difficult. It's difficult. The only positive I see is that when COVID happened, a lot more artists delved into selling art online, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
them did well. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping more and more, but that takes time. You have to learn a little bit about marketing and
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself, which I think is a good thing. You need
Yeah.
to do that. So I'm hoping that helps artists more to get out there. You got to trust yourself.
You're going to be doing it too. I know it. I can feel it.
You're with me.
I can't wait. I can't wait to work together, and I can't wait to collaborate on something with you. I could just feel that energy. All right. Thank you, Renee. You take care. And I can't wait to see some of your work.
Okay, I want you to send me those videos today if you can, the links.
I'm going to email them to you as soon as we get off the phone.
Okay, bye, sweetie. Talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.